The notification arrived at 2:13 a.m. Motion detected. I almost ignored it. Night shift had trained my brain to filter noise. Cameras triggered by wind, cats, delivery trucks turning around in the driveway. But something about this alert felt deliberate. I opened the security feed while sitting alone in the dim control room of the factory. The living room camera loaded slowly, pixel by pixel. Then the image sharpened. My wife was on the couch, not asleep, not alone. A man stood over her. Broad shoulders, athletic frame, the posture of someone used to hurting people for applause. His face turned toward the camera for half a second. I recognized him immediately. Ryan Keller, local kickboxing champion, the same man my wife said was just a trainer from the gym. My thumb froze above the screen. I expected them to notice the camera. They didn't. They kissed like two people who had done this before. Many times. The clock on the feed ticked quietly. 2:14 a.m., 2:15 a.m. I didn't look away. Not when his hand slid under her shirt. Not when she laughed the way she used to laugh with me. The strange part wasn't the betrayal. It was the calm spreading through my chest. No shouting, no panic, just clarity. People think rage is loud. Real rage is quiet. And while my wife disappeared upstairs with another man, I began planning the slowest revenge of my life. For 11 years, I worked night shifts, security supervisor at a logistics company. The hours were brutal, but the money paid for our house, her car, her gym membership, her trainer. Ryan Keller, a decorated fighter, or so everyone believed. My wife started mentioning him 6 months ago. Ryan says my form is improving. Ryan thinks I should compete in amateur tournaments. Ryan says discipline changes lives. Ryan said a lot of things, and apparently, so did she. I watched more footage over the next week. Patterns formed. My night shifts. His visits. The way she checked the driveway before unlocking the door. They thought they were careful. But cameras don't sleep. What fascinated me most was her expression. She looked alive. More alive than she had been with me in years. I didn't confront her. I didn't even mention the gym. Instead, I asked questions casually. Ryan seems successful. He owns a fitness business, right? She smiled. Yeah, a few locations. Interesting. Because according to the business registry, he owned exactly 0. That was the first crack. And once you see one crack, you start looking for the other. I began with simple curiosity. Google searches, business filings, public records. Ryan Keller was everywhere online. Social media posts about discipline, honor, and warrior mentality. But official records? Thin. Too thin. His gym operated under a different name. Owned by a shell company. Owned by another shell company. Eventually, the trail stopped at a name that didn't exist. Fake identity. That alone wasn't enough. So I looked deeper. His military background. The thing he bragged about constantly. Marine combat veteran. Decorated fighter. Protector. Except the military database told a different story. No combat record. No honorable discharge. Just a short training stint, followed by administrative removal. Stolen valor. The kind veterans hate. The kind federal investigators take seriously when money is involved. And Ryan's business handled a lot of cash. Membership fees. Personal training payments. Tournaments. Unreported income. Tax evasion. Fraud. I started documenting everything. Quietly. Carefully. The way a patient man builds a trap. Meanwhile, at home, my wife continued her routine. Gym. Dinner. Smiles. And sometimes, 2:13 a.m., motion detected. The camera kept watching. So did I. But the real twist came 2 months later. From someone else entirely. My daughter-in-law. The phone call arrived on a Sunday. Thanksgiving is at our place this year, she said. Her voice carried that familiar edge. The kind people use when they think they're above you. You can come, she added. A pause. Then the line that changed everything. But if you want to join, come early and wash the dishes. Silence filled the line. I pictured her smug smile. My son standing somewhere nearby, pretending not to hear. I simply replied, enjoy. Then I hung up. By that time, my investigation was finished. Every document, every fake claim, every fraudulent transfer, all organized, all submitted anonymously. Federal tip lines exist for a reason, and the FBI loves financial predators posing as heroes. 2 weeks later, agents visited Ryan's gym. They didn't leave quickly. They carried boxes, hard drives, financial records, Ryan's social media went silent. My wife stopped mentioning the gym. Then the news broke. Stolen valor, tax fraud, money laundering. His warrior empire collapsed overnight. And my wife finally realized the man she betrayed me for never existed. I never yelled. I never accused. I simply placed my phone on the kitchen table. She looked down. 7 photos. My new villa. White stone walls. Glass balconies. Lake views. Switzerland. Retirement purchased quietly through years of disciplined investing. She stared at the images. Confusion first, then understanding. You're leaving? I nodded. Another notification appeared. Phone vibrating. My daughter-in-law calling. Again, and again, and again. By evening, 71 missed calls. Apparently someone showed her the photos online. Apparently people behave differently when they realize the man they mocked owns a mountain. My wife whispered something. An apology, maybe. I didn't ask. I didn't care. Ryan was facing federal charges. Her reputation was collapsing alongside his. And suddenly, everyone wanted my attention. Funny how respect appears after power. The plane to Zurich departed at dawn. I watched the clouds swallow the city that once held my life. Betrayal is educational. It reveals people clearly. My wife taught me about loyalty. Ryan taught me about fraud. My daughter-in-law taught me about greed. And me? I learned patience. Cold patience. Because revenge isn't destruction. It's exposure. You simply turn on the lights and watch people burn in their own lies. As the plane crossed the Alps, my phone buzzed again. Another call. Another apology. Another attempt to reach the man they once dismissed. I turned the phone off, set it in the seat pocket, and looked out the window. Some people destroy their enemies with anger. I did it with silence. And silence is much harder to fight.